Go. We are back on the longest-running radio real estate show and mortgage show in the history of the universe. Cleve, Loveland, and the Loner Ranger here, giving you all of your real estate news.
News and needs.
News and needs. I've got great listings here. I've got a house. This is kind of a townhouse, but single story. Not, if you've got somebody a little older, don't want to do stairs, or you want an open floor plan. I got a 3-2 for $297,000 in Lake of the Woods. Great little townhome community.
Oh, I love Lake of the Woods.
In the Fern
Park. Yeah.
You own it. It's not a condo. The fees are very low. The fees are only $227 a month on that for $297. I've got a starter home for $227, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, right on the edge of Ocoee in Orlando, 1,000 square feet with a carport, but enormous lot, quarter-acre lot for $227,500. A lot of people looking at that. That probably, that won't last long.
So, give me the price on that one again.
$227,500.
And it's a 3-2.
Yep, 1,000 square feet. So
wow.
Good shape, all tile, no carpet, big yard. The yard enormous.
And what location is that?
That's right on the edge of Ocoee in Orlando, off Clarkona Ocoee Road.
What an that's it right there?
Yep.
That's an adorable house.
You're looking, this one over here. This one's for $575.
Oh.
This is Lester Ridge in Apopka. 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 3,100 square feet for $575. Lots of features and upgrades inside this one. Dedicated home office. You got 5 bedrooms plus a loft, plus a formal living and dining room, open concept plan. The master is downstairs in this home. Lester Ridge, a great community on the edge of Apopka. Got a great, enormous master bedroom, master bath, like a spa inside there for $575. I've got commercial land in Cocoa for $265,000. Give me a call if you want to take a look at any of these, or if you're thinking about getting your home on the market, you want to know what your next steps are, give me a buzz, 407-352-8118, 352-8118. Be happy to help you. All right, that's good. We finally got that toilet flushing button under control. You know what you're going. You got it labeled here, right?
It's so funny because, I operate a lot of the buttons here for crazy sound effects and just so we can have a good time on the show. But sometimes I just don't get it right. And Cleve will say something and get the toilet flush there. And then you get calls from your clients going, you got to get this Woodburn guy under control.
We got to get a radio producer, a full-time producer in here.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, what's going on with, are you seeing your buyer traffic come down? I know your refi traffic's down, obviously.
Well, refi traffic's down, but I would have thought it would have been non-existent, but it's not non-existent because here's the people we're helping. We can still consolidate debt.
Yep.
Okay. Divorce situations, you have to refi.
Yep.
Okay. So unfortunately, those are the cases. But there are cases where people may have to get out of a balloon note. What I'm not doing and what I'm not advising you to do out there with me or anyone else is to call to refi to get out of PMI right now. I'm going to get you out of your PMI when rates drop back down to 4.5%. Then we'll get out of PMI. Okay. So don't do that. Don't do it to you're not going to drop your rate right now. So don't do a refinance for that. But here's the market right now for mortgages in the United States is down some 30%. I'm down about 12%. That's it. 12%. I looked at my numbers. I'm down about 12%. But that's expected because I was expecting to be down even more than that with refinances being gone or essentially gone, and I'm not. And here's the people that are buying. I'm going to tell you, I'm still getting move-up buyers, and I'm still getting some first-time home buyers.
Well, this is what's fueled by people. They've got equity. There's still equity out there, and prices are rising. If they bought 3-4 years ago, they've got a good chunk of equity put down on that new home.
Right.
So, and then families change. They get bigger, they get smaller, kids go.
People are moving to Florida and they don't want to rent.
And that's the other part of it. People coming to the state, but we've also got Floridians coming to Central Florida, Bruce. And that's why it's funny. I see these national headlines, and we always run behind them. Like when the rest of the country starts to slow down, we slow down later. And we also speed up faster, too. We've got a more vibrant economy. So call me at 407-352-8118 for all of your real estate needs.
Yep, or call the Loner Ranger to get pre-qualified or pre-approved. You can go to my website at webringyouhome.com or call me right now or text me at 407-250-9144. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loner Ranger Radio Show. Stay tuned.